We have so much energy in this town. I love Lake Worth. 4 years ago, I went to work with the mayor of Lake Worth, Pam Trilla, in her private business. I then left in April and went to work with County Commissioner Shelley Bella as her senior executive secretary. I've worked with the government, I've worked with the county, I've worked with the state. I've been a political activist, which we can't talk about which party, but I've done a lot in the time I've been here in this county. The number one reason I am running is because I do love this city. Palm Beach County was ranked the 4th most corrupt county in America. We just passed a $40 million bond. We've had problems with contractors. We do. We need someone with common sense that's going to ask where the money goes. I know that's not liked, and people don't want to hear that, but it's the reality of it. I would love to see a school of the arts here, like the Triton School, Bible School. We can do it. We're in our community. Like everyone else, our concerns are crime, sober homes, the roads. They've been addressed. The mayor's been doing a great job, and they're going to continue to do a great job. But we need someone to ask those tough questions. I believe I'm the only one who is. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. March 14th, vote for Andy Witte.
Hello, I'm Herman Robinson. I'm a 19-year resident. My wife and I moved from Connecticut in '99. I opened a chocolate shop on Lake Avenue, restored the oldest commercial property built in 1912. Sort of hit the ground running, started a Bryant Park Neighborhood Association, and had our first debate with Southtown Park in cooperation at the Calvary Methodist Church there. I'm running for District 4 to continue serving. My involvement has been with the neighborhood associations. I was instrumental in starting the neighborhood President's Council. I'm a past president of Kiwanis, which was responsible for developing the soccer field at Tropic Ridge Park. Bryant Park initiated the raft race on July 4th, which has become a Lake Worth pride and joy institution and a day of mayhem. But actually having people work together. So I believe I have the judgment and temperament to work the job that has the President Commission has been working to keep Lake Worth going forward. We've got issues that will probably get into questions, so I'm not going to go into those, but looking forward to serving you on the commission. Thank you.
There is a societal issue with homelessness, with crime. I mentioned most of the other stuff at NAPC forum that I urge all of you to go back on YouTube and look at that forum and see the issues that I did raise. The crime right now, we are the highest in Palm Beach County. We are so high. We have 77 sheriffs. That includes lieutenant and captain. But yet we're the highest. And I know know if that is happening in Lake Worth, and that scares me. I do know it is happening in Florida. I don't know, like I said, it's happening in Lake Worth. I did find that out today because things are getting overfilled, and I built out to find out where that is happening. That might explain the crime where that is happening. I know right outside my street, Farm Block West. There's someone on the street, there's drug addicts, there's, I think there's both 30 March West.
Okay, from now on, that they do their public speeches would like to refrain from applause until the end when they do their closing statement. The next question will start with Omari, and that is, if elected, re-elected, for those who are already on the diocese, what are your top 5 goals for the next year?
David, we'll get this 1 minute. 1 minute.
So my number 1 goal is to reduce the crime rate here in Lake Worth. Many of you know the Neighborhood Scout has Lake Worth ranked the 34th most dangerous city in the United States, and that does not factor in some of the more minor crimes that we know are happening here, drug abuse, prostitution, those things. That just takes into account violent crime. But the 34th most violent city in the United States, second only to Riviera Beach here in the county. And one thing that I would like to do to address that problem is to add more PBSO deputies. I do understand that we have added 5 in October. But if we run the numbers, we actually need about 15 more to get to the right ratio of law enforcement officers to civilians here in the city, and that's really important to me. As we go forward, as we get additional money because of increases in property values here, we need to ask ourselves before we spend the money, what are our priorities? That's number 1 for me. The second thing is our roads. I supported the bond offering. We're going to get that money in late spring, early summer. Additionally, we're about to get $2.5 million a year in the penny sales tax. That's something that we should look to target as well. Any roads that aren't covered by that bond money should be covered by the penny sales tax.
Do you feel you need 2 minutes for this question?
I think 2 minutes.
Okay. Sorry.
Thank you, boss.
That's done. Sure. Go ahead. So, like I said, we're about to get the road money from the bond late spring, early summer. There's a map that shows you exactly which streets are going to be covered by that. But in addition to that, we're going to get $2.5 million a year from the penny sales tax. And I believe that any street that isn't covered by that bond map should be covered by the penny sales tax money before we go spend it on, say, a parking garage downtown. The third priority for me is stimulating small business investment here in Lake Worth. That's a big issue. If you talk to business owners on Dixie Highway or downtown or in any of our gateways, they would like to have more business there. And quite frankly, it's better for us. We need to increase the tax base, and we can't do that without small business here. The fourth is code enforcement. It's an issue. When I go door to door and talk with folks, it's the number 1 or number 2 thing that comes up. And so I think we need to refocus that department and make sure that we're organizing it in a way so that they are enforcing the ordinances in a way that adds value.
My name is William Joseph. I'm running for District 2 City Commission for Selection Maximum. As you all know, my major concern is the safety. You know why? Because I know what's behind the safety. I'm always working on it. And to prevent stopping this topic, I'm already talking to my congressman also. I talked to the county commissioner, Mark, and the Harbor. It's not about the time when you get to the south of the state and to find out what you're going to do. If I lost that night, that's what I'm doing. Make a phone call. Because I know I can win this. We can do it. We're close. The reason why I'm always hitting the word to make sure that to follow the leadership, because I know safety is my concern. As private entity and physical government, it's my job, it's my duty. I spend money to do it, and I spend money on it. My job is to make sure that all my citizens, all kids, all grandchildren, they can play outside. We don't talk about the unity for the city. That's what my campaign is about. I know many of you got elected people before, they said, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Okay. They say, you know what? we're not gonna do this. Please, don't let nobody intimidate you. March 14th, go now and mask. Vote for me. I'm not going to qualify for this. Because I've been there since 22 days and 14 days. I know what's going on in the city. I know the issue. But your problem is marriage. That's what my judgment is about. Thank you.
Well, at the January 24th meeting at City Hall, I heard that we spent, it was put up to a vote, there was $70,000 that we as you and I paid in a penalty, a fine, because our utilities department did not comply. They had quite a window to do that, over 3 years to comply, to do a safety check, and they did not complete that. That cost us $70,000. I'd like to move on. I don't think it's money. It's underneath it. We could use that $70,000 in so many different areas of this city. We're all going to talk about crime. We're all going to talk about sober homes. We're all going to talk about the roads. But I'm going to talk about the money. I'm going to talk about the $6 million contract that was given to Avanti. The construction of the casino was not an American-owned company, which prompted me to ask the city for all the contracts that we had. I'd like to see what's going on. For you and for me, a little common sense, maybe a lot of common sense is needed. Our pool is closed. Our pool is closed. We're coming into the biggest part of our season, the street painting festival, and our pool is closed. Again, folks, this is common sense stuff. I don't think you'll hear it from the other candidates because it's not the fun thing to talk about. It's not the acceptable thing to talk about. We'll talk about the real issues of crime and so forth. But the more important issue, I think, is how we are spending our money and what we could do so much better as a city with those funds.
Spending money is important. Sober homes are very important. If you're living next to one, that's a serious issue that I've attended the task force meetings with Commissioner Nefario and Commissioner Amoroso, and they're working diligently. Obviously, they're making progress on the arrests that have been made. So sober homes are sort of a top issue for me. Code is a part of that tool that we can use to address that. The insurance companies need to step up. Interlocal partnerships, not solving our own problems, but working with other communities, other agencies to solve several issues that we have in town. So that's another priority, interlocal partnerships. Maybe you could address, the county could help us with the pool issue. I consider the pool an issue as well. Communications and listening is important. Providing a better balance on the commission is important. I think that if we try and communicate with our commissioners and that doesn't happen, that's a problem for me. I want to maximize the assets that we do have. The authentic downtown, the beach, marketing is a huge help to that. Changing the perception of Lake Worth is up there with all the other issues. We know that we have crime, but we need to explain the beauty and the assets that we have. We are a livable city. It's a great place to live.
Thank you. I also have to agree with Carmen. Sober home homes is a huge problem. People are dying there. There's deaths. The $70,000 from the utility, that was before Jack Horsch came. Unfortunately, now we've lost Jack. Not because of that issue, but because we didn't give him a raise, which is very sad to me. We brought our utility department down, our utilities down, ranked 4 in Florida. So kudos to Jack Horsch for that. So I'd like to give him a big round of applause for that, although he's not here. Sober homes go hand in hand with crime. I now do my homework. There's 3 now that are FAR approved out of 4. Why is that? The sober homes don't want to get FAR approved because they're afraid of the city's restrictions on them. They have to follow the disability. If they go past, we have 4 disabilities, then they have to, and then 1 drops out, then they don't have enough business. The crime, like I said before, is an issue. Parking downtown, we're losing